Welcome back to the Beagley Center. I'm Anthony Romo, pleased to be joined by Matt Wawero of the Horizon League. Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So first things first, Matt, being the Director of Creative Strategies and Student Athlete Initiatives for the Horizon League, just talk a little bit about some of the duties you oversee for the league.
Nice. So essentially for the league, I am in-house graphic designer, everything creative. I'm sort of either helping the direction of for social or for our player of the weeks or just those types of items. And then as far as the student athlete initiatives, I work with our 2 student athlete groups, the Horizon League SAT group, which is 2 members from each of our 12 institutions, and then our 1HL group, the One Horizon League group that we put together. That group is sort of the result of everything that was happening last year with all the social unrest and those types of things that were going on. We felt like instead of just putting out a statement from the league, our board of directors felt it would be more impactful if we could have a group of student athletes that sort of tackled social injustice, gender equity, those types of things. So we put this group together. Their first big initiative was the voting initiative of trying to get people registered to vote. So between those 2 things, I'm pretty busy. It's a good time.
Yeah, and with last year, we went through the entirety of the conference slate having no fans in the arenas. Just how exciting is it to have our fans back in our member schools for this postseason run?
It's really exciting just because obviously we've been in Indy. This is our 3rd year being in Indianapolis, but the first year was the first year, so everything was new and different. And then the second year, there's no fans in the venue. So although it is the 3rd year, it almost feels like the first time that it's happening again, just because now we've done it enough times that we know what we're doing. And now we're excited to have fans coming to Indianapolis and to celebrate and see who's going to reach the horizon.
And as you had mentioned, Indianapolis, once again, the site for our semifinals and finals of our 2022 Keeps Horizon League Championships. What makes Indy such an intriguing site for fans?
I mean, Indianapolis is it's a premier city with a lot of events. We just hosted the college football playoffs. After our championships finish, we're going to have the NCAA first rounds going on as well. So there's just a lot of events in sports specifically that come through Indianapolis all the time. So it's really exciting that the Horizon League gets to be in the mix.
And then what can fans look forward to coming to Indy this upcoming week?
We have all sorts of things going on in Indianapolis. So we have some amplifying events that we're going to have going on in addition to our basketball games. We have an International Women's Day, an esports combine, and an officials sort of mentor-mentee networking event. So it should be a good time.
And then one final question, Matt. Where can fans purchase tickets to come watch our teams play?
If you go to horizonleague.com/Indy, you can find all of your ticket needs for our basketball championships. That's everything you should need.
Thanks for Matt for joining us here today. When we come back, we'll have second half action here from the Beagley Center. Welcome back to the Beagley Center here on the campus of Youngstown State. I'm Anthony Romo, pleased to be joined by Horizon League Commissioner Julie Rowe last night. Julie, thanks for coming down to Youngstown.
It's great to be here. Always good to be in Youngstown.
So this is your 2nd year as league commissioner, but you've been with the conference for a little bit, your 8th year with the Horizon League. You've seen so many events here across so many sports. Just what makes the Horizon League unique compared to other conferences that boast D1 programs?
Well, first, I just want to congratulate all of these student athletes, right? We've got our academic honor roll recipients. This is awesome. So just heads up, kudos to these student athletes. I think what makes us special is we're in this big city footprint, right? All the way from Green Bay to Youngstown, I'm hitting Cleveland and Pittsburgh in the next 2 days, down to Dayton and Cincinnati, and of course Indianapolis. We have this big city footprint with great opportunities for our student athletes, and I think that's incredibly special for our 7-state footprint.
As everyone continues to get through this pandemic that everyone across the country is dealing with, just what are some of the protocols that the Horizon League takes to ensure safe competition?
Yes, so we had more extensive protocols, as you might imagine, last year. We're able to relax some of those, but still have some pretty strict pieces in place with regard to testing, especially if you're not vaccinated, and then how do we respond to symptoms or a positive test. Of course, there's some safety protocols on masking, so a lot of different pieces in place, and our ADs and coaches and student athletes have been great in just leading that effort.
You've put a huge focus during your time here on mental health within our student athletes here in the Horizon League. Just what are some strides that you've taken to cause stability with our athletes?
I think one is just raising awareness that it's okay to not be okay. We've talked a lot about that with our student athlete development cabinet and of course our SAT group that's really led some initiatives. We've done 2 in the past, some significant league-wide, and now we're figuring out what's next. What do our campus and student athletes need the most, and how can we help amplify that?
The league is honoring former head coach John McClendon this upcoming weekend across the league. Just What has he done for the game? What's his influence been on the game of basketball?
Like, what a legacy, right? I mean, the fact that he was hired at Cleveland State, and Cleveland State was the first to break that barrier of a predominantly white institution hiring an African-American coach, and then obviously he was an incredible coach. So the fact that we can celebrate him, this is our second, now it's become an annual celebration. I think it's a real tribute to not just his legacy, but to the impact, especially during Black History Month. This is the time to do it.
Being a former college basketball player yourself, just how much do you focus on getting fans out to support our member schools towards the end of the year?
It's absolutely critical, especially as this league season culminates. One, here, because this is a great regular season experience, and two, we want our fans to come to Indianapolis to support the tournament on March 7th and 8th. My plug is all the information folks need is horizonleague.com/Indy.
Thank you, Julian. When we come back, we'll have second half action here from the Beagley Center.
Haley Niederkor will now step back up to the dish. Pinch runner for the Penguins, Alyssa Imler, will run for Sabini. Let's take a look at Haley Niederkor. Niederkor 1 for 1 on the day. Laid down a beautiful bunt in her first plate appearance. 1 out. Imler on first for Youngstown State. Penguins looking to get their 10th win of the season here today. Liz Murphy now 48 pitches on the day, make that 49. Beautiful pitch, paints the outside corner. 3 runs on 4 hits so far today for Youngstown State. No runs on 1 hit for Detroit. That one hit over to second base, over to the shortstop. They'll get the first out. They will not get the second. But nice job by Murphy forcing the ground ball. Then Gauthier over to Smith for the second out of the inning. Runner will remain on first base. Taylor Truen will step up to the dish. First pitch from Murphy. A little bit outside for ball 1. Truen 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-0. A little bit high. Count will now move to 2-0. Truen struck out swinging her first plate appearance. That one outside, count will move to 3-0. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. We'll see if Coach Campbell gives her the green light. The 3-0 from Murphy. Inside, ball 4. 2 runners on now for the Penguins with 2 outs here. Megan Turner will step back up to the dish. Turner in her first plate appearance reached after she blooped one in between the right fielder and the second baseman. Heilner came in, could not make the play. Courtesy runner now coming in for the Penguins. It'll be Haley Roach. Megan Turner, a junior out of Champion, Ohio. Transfer from Kent State. She was All-MAC second team last year. It's also All-MAC freshman team back in 2019. Turner had an illustrious high school career. Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year, USA Today High School All-American, Flow Softball High School All-American. She drills that one deep left field, going back, and it's gone. 3-run home run for Megan Turner. Youngstown State now up 6-0. Back-to-back innings where the Penguins have now put 3 runs up on the board. There was no doubt about that one. Turner drilling that one into the rocks in left field. YSU now on top 6-0. As you take a look at our replay, Turner turned on that one, drilled it into the top of the rock pile, giving the fan a souvenir. Avery Schumacher now stepping up to the dish, and she ropes that one down the first base line. Play quickly made by Trotman for the third out, but Megan Turner with a 3-run home run gives the Penguins a 6-run advantage after 3 innings of play. Destiny Jackson with it for Wright State, team's current leading scorer with 9 points. Kyra Webster now with it, driving inside, finds Diamond Stokes, and she gets that one to go. Diamond Stokes continues to have a good day off of the bench so far for the Raiders. Wright State currently trails by 7. They've hung in there inside with the Penguins, but the key to YSU's lead right now, YSU's made 5 threes, Wright State 0 of 1. Magistro over to Wagner, 3-ball, got it. YSU continues to stay hot here from beyond the 3-point arc in the first half. Lead up to 10, the biggest lead that YSU has had so far here today.
Second 3 in the second quarter for Lexi Wagner, third 3 overall this quarter for the Penguins.
Something that has made this Youngstown State team so dangerous all year long is their depth. We were mentioning pregame that this Youngstown State team, almost every single game this year, has had someone different step up.
And they can go 10 deep without any problem, and sometimes 11 deep. This is a very talented basketball team.
Wagner once again, a little bit too strong off the back of the rim. Rebound goes to Diamond Stokes.
And listen, that's not a bad shot. Lexi Wagner had hit her first 2 threes.
A little bit of a heat check there from Wagner. Roberson cut off by Leonard. Over to Jackson, her 3-ball. Wright State finally gets their first 3-ball of the game to go, gets the lead back down to 7.
Destiny Jackson up to 10 points, leading Wright State.
Paige Shy now with it. Over to Malia Magistro. YSU screening around the perimeter. Magistro takes a screen from Leonard. Back out to Lindsey Mack. 6 seconds remain on the shot clock. Magistro wide open in the corner, and her 3-ball connects. A little bit of miscommunication there from Wright State. YSU takes advantage.
And Malia Magistro, she can score. Believe me when I tell you, she led the nearby Kennedy Catholic High School with the most points in her basketball career. She's a talented scorer.
Magistro over 2,100 points in high school, second most in Mercer County history. Jada Roberson with the quick answer on the other end for Wright State. Lexi Wagner pulls up from the right elbow. The Penguins starting to heat up here in the second quarter. They've outscored Wright State 14-9.
Given the fact they only scored 19 points in the first quarter, they're on pace to score well over 20 here in quarter number 2.
Roberson driving in, looking for the foul call, does not get one. That one was partially deflected, out of bounds. Ball will go to YSU. Megan Callahan, Maddie Albaugh, Chelsea Olsen, and Jen Wendler now checking back in for the Penguins. Just under 4 minutes to play here in our second quarter.
All these substitutions remind me of hockey games. Third line coming in for the first line. Mass substitutions here.
Lindsey Mack's 3-ball, no good. I'm sure Coach Barnes more than pleased to get almost his whole bench in the game. As we had mentioned, this Youngstown State team has some of the most depth out of any team here in the Horizon League. And that's helped them to a 16-3 conference record as of date. The 16 wins, the most ever in a single season in conference history for the Penguins.
Jada Roberson picking up a foul. Maddie Albaugh did a fantastic job of boxing her out. Roberson went over the back of Albaugh and drew the foul.
Maddie Albaugh, last game out against Northern Kentucky, tied a career high with 7 assists against the Norse. Megan Callahan, top of the key from 3. That one no good. Rebound goes to KK White. Ball now back in the hands of White, trying to drive inside on Callahan.
lowers her shoulder and gets that one to go off glass.